So I was trying to find a way to extract tables from PDFs, and one particular library that I found is pdfplumber, and this particular library can work really well. The only issue is that, well, first of all, it won't work on scans, obviously, because it parses the PDF, so it needs extractable text, and it also needs something that here is called table settings, and these settings need to be tuned to the particular PDF that you're trying to extract from. So if you're dealing with PDFs that are essentially the same format, I'm pretty sure this can work really well, given that you set the proper settings. And this is kind of the issue that I found, is that I want to deal with different sorts of PDFs, and so this is pretty much not the best use case for pdfplumber. So I can show you what happens here. I tuned this up a little bit so that you get something useful, but you can see here that it only extracted one table, even though technically I pretty much only wanted this one. So obviously I could tune this up so that I can get exactly what I want, but again, I want to deal with PDFs that I don't necessarily know the format in advance. So I found something that is a little bit more generalizable, or well, actually way more generalizable. Now it's not perfect. It's called Docling. So obviously Docling is really popular. It's a document processing library that runs your document through a full pipeline. It can parse the PDF, run layout analysis, apply OCR when needed, detect tables, and then assemble everything into a final Docling document. So this Docling document we can actually access programmatically to actually access the extracted tables that Docling found. So I can show you how to do that. I'm gonna be writing a little script that literally takes a document and exports it as multiple CSV files. Alright, so let's actually write the main, but before, let's see exactly the dependencies that we will be using here. So we are going to use Docling on X runtime and rapid OCR and typer for key arguments. Alright, so let's start by defining the supported formats that we will deal with. So only PDFs and images for this. Let's take this, and these are going to be Docling formats and images. And we can remove this one. And then let's define our app, which is going to be typer and Docling tables, equivalent tool for extracting tables, file, PDF, images, and exporting them to CSV. Perfect. Let's create some data classes. So let's do frozen true, and this one would be the conversion results. So document, and it will have a Docling document and a list of warnings for partial success. And let's create a export results for when we write the CSV files. And this one will have an output path, actually warnings too, and also CSV files, which will be a list of paths. And let's import it. Now let's define ourselves a little error class. Perfect. And yeah, let's now create the prepare function. This one will take input path, output root, and input file, and it will return the path that is created. Perfect. Now let's create the root directory. So let's expand user. And resolve. If it already exists, and is not a directory, we can raise. And now let's actually create it, and let's create our output directory, which will be inside the output dir with the stem. Now for this one, if it already exists, actually let's just raise, and yeah, if not, we make the directory. Now let's return the output here, and that's it. Perfect. Now let's create ourselves a little formatter for the partial errors that Docling can return. So this one will receive errors, and is going to actually be error item and return list of string. And this error item is yes, it has component, module name, and error message. So we can format the errors by literally just return this and use the components. So it was component type and module name and dot error message. Good. Now, alright, let's now write our convert document function. Let's take input path, and this one will return converted document, and we can find our converter and use the allowed formats that we defined earlier, and we can use the try catch for this one. Convert, and let's not raise on error so that we can have partial success for pages. Now let's see for the conversion status is not in conversion success and conversion partial success. We can get the details from our formatter, and we are going to join this. we can now raise this with the details, and we can return this table. And this is document, and this is errors. And that's it. And now we can create our write tables function, and this one takes that exactly, and that writes table to CSV. Perfect. And let's check first if not document tables, and let's start in 1 and use some padding of zeros, and let's find our data frame, and this is export to data frame, and then let's write this, and we append, and let's actually do this in a try catch. Now let's define the export tables to the CSV function, which takes the document and the output and returns an export result. And now we can create our output directory like this one, and this actually takes an input file, this, and now we can convert document, and conversion is the convert results, and then our CSV files. Actually, let's remove directory, and it is and we try to export. Output path, put here CSV files, and convert warnings. And that's it. Now we can write our app command, so our main file, and our main function, and this here, input file, rotated, this, and path, type argument. True, okay, true, dear okay false, and readable and resolve true. Yep. The PDF or image file to extract tables from, and output path. This like that. one doesn't necessarily need to exist. And that's it. So let's start with a try catch result. Yep, so we get the result, we tables extracted actually here, and that's pretty much it. Good. Now we can try this out, and we just do. We can try this exact PDF again. Alright, so we have it here, we can open it here, and just going to align this. Yep, so we can see that it extracted pretty much the most important part, which are these two. Now I did combine it with the same table, so again, it's not exactly perfect. There's also, we can see that it's not correctly aligned here, for example, and same here. But yeah, it has been more generalizable, so in terms of not needing to specify settings, also being able to work with scans. For me, this is a little bit better than using pdfplumber or some other libraries that I tried. Now, Docling uses a model called table former, and it's a table recognition model, and currently it doesn't sit at the top of this specific benchmark, which is table recognition benchmark. So I'd be really curious to try these new models, and the reason I want to kind of exhaust any solution that is not just a full-blown LLM is because these specific models, and Docling included, will give you more metadata to be able to work with. They will give you geometry. They will essentially be able to, you'll be able to create yourself B boxes where you could create a front end that when you click on the cell, it highlights where it found that specific cell in the original file. So that's really useful in my opinion, and it's also much less expensive than a full-blown LLM. So that's kind of the reason why I'm trying to experiment with these sorts of models before reaching for an LLM.